Are you ready for Friday night stand-up from the MCB? Your host for tonight is Igor. Please put your hands together. Igor!
Thanks. Well, why is the room half empty? What happened?
You're a host.
People at the bar, would you like to sit? That's a very good answer, and I agree with that answer 100%. East bar. Good, stay at the bar. People who are, but you're sitting anyways, right? I mean people who are standing at the bar. Would you like to sit? Nah, we're not going anywhere from the bar. Those are the people who came to drink, obviously, right? Like a layer of people just trying to get drunk there near the bar. Good luck. Already getting drunk. Awesome. Welcome to the stand-up part of the Friday night live show here at Jim and Jack's. How are you guys doing? What a strange response. Someone booing, someone clapping, someone ignoring me, someone pouring drinks. Oh, that's the bartender. I hope. Can we get a more unified answer? How are you guys doing? Someone said thanks. What the How are you guys doing? Thanks. I've been better, but thanks. Thanks for asking. Actually, today, my children, just make a noise. Just be like, woo, like in normal places or something. Or clap. Cheers, yeah, whatever. Like, let's agree on one noise as a group of people. What do you prefer? Clap? Or woo? Or thanks? I don't know. Woof. Can someone get the dog out? Jesus. Who did leave the dogs out? Let the dog. Who leave the dogs out? Let the dogs out. Oh my God. Okay, so we agreed on what? Woo. Let's try that one out. How are you guys doing? Woo! There has to be the one, the special one. Oh, there always has to be the special one. That's like in every classroom. I teach at university, and this is what happens. Every time I have a group of students, they majority tries to do one thing, and there's always the funny kid, you know, that tries to be different. Always. I had this student once that came with a sock on his hand. Just like sitting there, and in the middle of the class, I noticed this, and I stop and I ask him, wait a second, why are you wearing a sock on your hand? And he goes, oh, this is a hand sock. That's the one of those. The person who clapped, that's you. Okay, we agreed on the woo. How was your week? It's Friday evening. How was your week? Woo! Is this going to be the answer to every question of mine from now on? Obviously. Thank you to the woo moderator and another random wooer somewhere in the back who had a good week. You don't get a good week, you get good weekends. Oh, technically, weekend is a part of the week, first of all. Second of all, why wouldn't you have a good week? Who said that? Somewhere. Why wouldn't you have a good week? Why wouldn't you have a good week? Yeah, like a work week.
Because it's mostly weekdays, and weekdays are not supposed to be good.
Well, where do you work? In hell?
I agree. Near that.
What do you do?
Paralegal.
You're a para what now?
Paralegal.
Paralegal, which means?
Which means not like a lawyer, but lawyer's assistant.
Which means you're not a lawyer, but a lawyer's assistant. Well, yeah, your week is probably shit. I get that. It makes all the sense now. Anyone with a decent job? Maybe. No? Anyone who's not para something? Did anyone have a good work week? No one had a good work week. Zhenya? As always. Why? Tell us, what do you do? Almost. Programmer. So what's so good about your week? Not so bad.
What's so bad?
What so? I don't know. I'm asking you. I don't work with you.
I'm asking you.
This is gonna be a long night. What's your name? What's your name? I'm asking you. I'm asking you. Why was your week good? You wooed and cheered and whatnot when I said why did you what happened that was good?
Nothing bad happened. Could be worse.
Could be worse. Okay, did anything good happen during this week to anyone in this room? Yeah? What? I heard a yeah. Someone said
We traveled to Russia.
you traveled to Russia. I said good thing. Jesus Christ. Where from?
From Iran.
That's a good thing. Welcome. Only after you put things into perspective you can understand, good or bad. That makes a lot more sense. You're here as a tourist?
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Until they find you as a tourist. What do you do in Iran?
I'm a student.
I see. And in Moscow, looking for a job. Just traveling.
Yes.
And you are here with your friends?
Yeah.
Two of you? I mean, three of you, right?
Yes. No, in my company.
Wasn't Iran Persia like a long time ago? And didn't you guys like invent maths or something? Numbers? No? Obviously not. Jesus. Welcome. What are your names?
Roland.
Yeah. 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 Okay, that one I know. Easy. So you'll be Mohammed and you'll be friends of Mohammed. Is that good? Can we go with that? Let's agree on that. That's fine. Do we have any other foreigners in the room? Yeah. Oh, suddenly we do. Where are you guys from? Anyone? Let's start with the big man in the middle.
He just turned away.
He's like, turn this around to a girl, like, hey you. You know you're big.
England.
Where from? Which part?
All over. I moved around a lot, like English gypsy.
Like an English gypsy. Great. Iranians, you're officially not the worst people in the room anymore. There's an English gypsy over there. Great. What's your name, sir?
Stephen.
Of course it is. Every Brit. Every Brit. Could be Gary. Fair enough. Could be Jimmy. It's Stephen. Excellent. Who else? We had more hands. People in the corner. Yeah. Oh, don't fight over it. We have time.
Canada.
Why did you say that so carefully? Like, I wouldn't know what that is. Like, Canada?
Do you know what Canada is?
Is it America?
It's near America.
It is America, bro. Geography. What do you mean it's near America? It's literally America. As the continent called America. You're just here for the free beer, right? Awesome. Keep drinking that beer, bro. And the final foreigner is
American.
American, like
The real one.
like Argentina, right?
Mexico.
Mexico.
You know, the one in the middle.
All right, the United States of America, right?
Yes.
Where from?
Oregon.
Oh, that's a cool one.
I know, right?
Let's not mention that city again in the evening of fun and comedy. Okay, so we have Mohammed and friends, Steve the wandering gypsy, Canadian, alcoholic, I presume, who came here for a free pitcher of beer, and an American. What a fun crowd. And the rest of you?
Russia!
Something to fix it.
Yeah. What, the passport? That's not how you're gonna fix that. Who here considers himself a good person? All the people at the bar, obviously, and the paralegal. What's so good about you?
Everything in general. But just
Name a few things, just from the top of your head.
I don't do bad things.
I don't do bad things. It's not a definition of good.
Well, it is.
It's not.
It's like the opposite. I mean, doing bad things is the opposite of being good, right?
Yeah, but not doing bad things is not equal being good. It's like if you see someone like hit by a car and you don't help them, you're not good, but not by not hitting them by a car.
No,
You're just
but
not bad.
But you're not good by not helping them.
Do you have one feature that is good about you that you can name right now?
Well, everything.
Next.
Pretty much.
People at the bar, why are you good? Who said they're a good person? Why, sir? Steven.
I didn't kill anyone yet.
Yet. Moving on. Well, for wandering around, I'm surprised. I consider myself a good person, and I try to donate to people that are not so lucky, maybe as I am. You know, people that ask for money, people around Metro and stuff. Who gives money to beggars? You see, good people. Now we're getting to the bottom of this. No one else? Terrible, terrible scum. I try to give money when I can. And recently I've noticed a new group of people that appeared that are begging for money on the streets. It's like a pair of, it's always a pair, like a young couple, dressed really well, with suitcases, and a piece of paper that says, I need money for a ticket. Have you seen these guys? Yeah? Did you ever give them money?
No.
Exactly, why would you? They look like all those like old grannies and stuff, like handicapped people, whatnot. I understand, like they're in some kind of bad position. Two well-dressed young people with suitcases already packed, asking for the ticket money. What were they thinking? Were they like, so today we're going to H&M, we're buying some new clothes. In the evening we're packing, we're going somewhere traveling, right? They finish packing, they're like, honey, did you take the money? I thought you were taking the money. I don't have any money. Where the fuck are we going? To the Metro to ask for money. Like what? How? Why did they pack their bag? I don't know. Just lunacy, just crazy things. Okay, we're gonna start the show. We have 4 comedians for you guys. 2 Americans, like Americans, not Canada. That doesn't count. 2 Americans, 1 Englishman, and 1 Russian. So we covered basically. You had an Iranian comedian, Iranian, I don't know, Persian. If you had a Persian comedian, we would cover literally all the people in the room. But we don't, unless one of you guys is up for some comedy. No? No.
We
Sad.
can tell live stories. As comedians.
That's not gonna be funny, I presume.
I promise you it's not.
Okay. Come tomorrow, we have an open mic and you'll do a set, I promise. Okay, so let's start with the first comedian of the evening, all the way from Virginia. Yes? I'm just randomly guessing, I don't remember. We met a long time ago. From Virginia, United States, please welcome on the stage, John!
Good evening. How many people saw the improv? You guys see the improv tonight? Were they good? No, you didn't see it? Or you all left, right? Everybody watched the improv.
I
right?
saw it.
Yeah. And they had a mad professor. But you see, I really am a mad professor. And I know like a lot of mad professor stories, but unfortunately, some of them have to do with coming to Russia. I went to Petersburg for the first time in '99, and then I went back last year. Now, why did I wait 15 years? Because I was a little worried I might have a criminal record for the first time I came. The first time I came, I remember it was a very strange situation. I gave a class for 2 weeks, and we got paid $1,000 for teaching almost 24 hours. And then, but we had to get, in those days, permission from the mayor, from the Russian government, and from the university to take this money. So, as you would expect, since in those days they were stricter about money, when I got to the airport, they said, why do you have this money? I said, we taught a course and we got paid $1,000, it's just to pay. They said, why do you have this money? Do you have permission to bring this out? I said, we have letters here from the mayor of Petersburg, we have letters from the head of the university, and we have letters from the tax authority. They said, you do not have letter from Tamozhnaya. But they told us in university, it's okay, you do not have tamoshneya. Please come with me. And then we went to the side, and they started like investigating all my pockets and stuff, and they said, you cannot bring cash out of Russia. I said, does that mean we can bring traveler's checks? Yes. Do you have traveler's checks? No, but then you must get traveler's checks and come back when you have traveler's checks. It was Sunday. So we had to leave, missed the plane. We stayed somewhere, and the next morning we went to the bank, got traveler's checks, and we came back. So I went to the airport. They said, do you have money? I said, no, we have no cash. What do you have? Traveler's checks. Why do you have no money? Because you told us yesterday to get traveler's checks. They said, you are American. You must have cash. Come with me. And so they started looking in my socks, and they had me like, they pretty close to essentially strip search me. And so I thought about that, and then they sort of said, okay, you have no money, you can go. But after that, that sort of discouraged me from coming to Petersburg. However, I went back last year, and when I went back last year, I was very pleased to see that some things never change. When I went to Petersburg, you still have women yelling, matryoshki, matryoshki, tradizioni matryoshki, nedorogie matryoshki. And you still had that, and you had people in the embankment. Of course, there were some slight differences. Back then, like almost no one spoke English, and they were selling you a bunch of stuff. Now you see the Putin cups and everything like that. And I started looking, and they said, I don't want this Putin cup. They sort of said, it's too expensive. They said, what? It's too expensive. It's sort of like you said, my cousin, he's in Brooklyn. He sells it. He sells it for $5 more than I charge here in Petersburg. What do you mean it's expensive? So it's different. But the other thing that's cool is that they still have all those people going around with horses or in costumes. You know, you can take pictures with them and whatnot. But one night, I don't want to ride these horses. But you know, one night we were with the colleagues, we were drinking, we came back to the hotel. But every time we were walking back to the hotel, somebody would stop us with a horse and go, they said, you want to ride? You go, no. You walk a little bit, you want to ride? You go, no. So we said, okay, we're getting out, get out of here. We walked a side street, and there was a beautiful girl standing there with no horse. And she said, do you want to ride? And I said, where's your horse? And she said, you need one? Of course, if you knew something about my background and the mad professors I dealt with, you would understand why this is like par for the course. Seriously, I mean, I went to a very famous university which does things like it runs all the Mars projects. They have like a gajillion Nobel Prize winners. Some of my professors won the Nobel Prize. One of the most famous physicists there, he used to work in a strip bar. And that's how he did all his work. He did his things. In fact, they used to keep all his strip stuff. But he even testified for a strip bar when they were going to close it down. But the worst was this guy we used to call Speedy Gonzalez. He was a Mexican physicist. And just try to imagine an overweight Einstein who is Mexican with a really strong accent. Like Gomez. His name was Gomez, and he would get drunk like several weekends. He would come to school sometimes, and sometimes he would just like disappear. But once he did something that's really unbelievable, which is there was a big conference, a famous scientist from all over the world, and he got drunk in the middle of the conference. Now the conference had a big party in the middle of a yard where the faculty club was, and Gonzalez got on the top of the roof and started screaming at people. He said, you people are a bunch of fucking idiots. You don't know anything about science. You're just dumb. And you are just stupid. You just waste time here. You drink cocktails and you eat the food. And it was like screaming. And they said, get down, Ricardo, get down. You're going to fall down. And so he said, no, I do not come down. And then at that point, they started getting the police. And he saw the police coming. So what did he do like every good scientist? He unzipped his pants. And he started to urinate over the crowd. So that is what mad scientists really do in the real world. The other thing, all I have to worry about is my students turning into aliens. When I lecture here, I notice that everyone who's lectured a big group knows this problem, that your students become aliens. What do you mean they get aliens? Well, you're talking to them, it's nice, they're responding, they're looking at you, but then suddenly you ask a question like, does anybody understand? Okay? And when you ask that question, your students turn into reptiles. You know what that means? Well, you know, alligators and other reptiles can sleep with their eyes open. Their eyes are open, but this thin film covers their eyes. Well, guess what? That's what happens to professors. You know when you have like 100 students, you start talking, you say, does everybody understand? And all of a sudden, you see this wave of film cover the eyes of the students. It's almost like some science fiction movie. They're aliens. And that's the scariest part of being a professor. Because you always, they turn into aliens. My theory is that sometimes there's no such thing as students. There's just like, it's just an excuse for us to be invaded. That's why they're showing Independence Day, right? To warn you that the aliens are here already and you have to be very, very, very careful about this. The other things that have changed, of course, is that there used to be a time when I would come to Russia in '99, and this was after the crisis. It was like a big crisis in '97, '98. The ruble collapsed. The economy was doing badly. People were worried about jobs, and of course, we know that will never happen again, right? I mean, the ruble is as stable as anything, right? That's what we all know about this. But one of the things, the outputs of that, is that there were only two kinds of restaurants aside from Stolobaya. So in Petersburg, there were like restaurants for the Novoy Ruski, you know, these kinds of places where the guy would sort of say, you know, the men have like no necks, and their suits are too tight, and they are like bigger than American football players, and they're like walking with like women who are sort of like models, but they're perhaps dressed in a more X-rated fashion, and they must spend $1,000 on a bottle of wine. And then there are normal restaurants which had huge menus. They had like a Soviet-style menus, I guess, which were gigantic. They had like 100 pages, like War and Peace, but for restaurants. Except the problem is that if you try to order something, you would say, do you have X? No. Well, do you have Y? No. Do you have this? No. Why don't you just tell me what you have? And I'd say, no. They said, order. Just pick something. So I'd say, you have Salyanka? They go, no. And I'm going, wait a minute, the name of your restaurant is Salyanka. And why don't you have Salyanka? So one good thing is that today, of course, it's not a problem. Moscow has so much food. All of the Russian classics are available all the time. You can get sushi, you can get Starbucks, and you can get Caesar salad everywhere in Moscow. All the basic Russian foods. In fact, I've decided that Caesar salad is so Russian, it's incredible. Somebody, I mean, when I was here, I arrived a few weeks ago, a professor from the university took me to dinner, and she said, let's go to this place. It's a really good Uzbek restaurant. Uzbek food, right? They said they have a really good, what do you want for salad? She said, oh, you should try their Caesar salad. So I'm going, okay, this is an Uzbek restaurant. And the more I've been here the last month, I've actually investigated this. Dve palochki, which is Asian cuisine. What is their lunch special? Caesar salad with pasta carbonara. Sounds really Japanese, right? And I said, Uzbek restaurant, Caesar salad. Georgian restaurant, Caesar salad. So my theory is that Caesar salad, along with sushi, and look, there's more sushi near this bar than in typical street in Tokyo. Like you can, like I think just walking around Chistikrudi, there must be like 5 places serving sushi. So my theory is that this is now part of the official Russian cuisine. Somewhere in the world, some Russian government has decided that this is what the food will be. And then the other thing, of course, that one has to get used to is the language. When I first came here, the hardest part about Russian is just figuring out Cyrillic. But especially you get confused because they try to convert English into Russian sometimes. And the hardest thing for me is to figure out when do Russians make the H a G. And so most of the time it becomes like Henry becomes Gendry, right? Harry becomes Gary, right? But the problem is sometimes it becomes a ha. And I remember looking at like the store, it said coffee. And I was looking at it and going, oh, house. It was coffee house or townhousey. So that this is like one of those hard, very, very difficult things to do when you get here. But ultimately, nothing ever changes. This is still Moscow, and when you get out of the place, you're in good time. Thanks a lot.
Okay, hands in the air who felt like you were reading a book of like a old person who saw everything and now he's just sharing about. So one year I was in Moscow, right? Oh, the sushi, man. I'm telling you. Even the Canadian left. We had one Canadian, he left. Damn it. What is today? Today is like a day of Canada or something, is it? No. It is Canada Day. Who said that? Are you Canadian? What does mean Canada Day? What happened on this day? Became a country? Oh. Canada is country. Is Canada country? Congratulations. Okay, well the next guy is far, far, far from Canada. But not that far. What are you Canadians doing in Moscow, actually? What do you do here? Obviously. You're not begging, I hope. But I mean, what do you do? Management. Nice. Well done. Not an English teacher. That's a success. I guess, sorry all the English teachers in the room. I guess for Canadians it's pretty easy to come to Russia because it's pretty similar, right? Cold and berry and hockey or whatever. So like, yeah, kind of overlaps. So the next comedian is actually Russian. So maybe the Canadian part of the room, which is one guy, will relate to him. Or maybe the Russian part of the room, which is all other people, will relate to him. So please welcome on the stage, the very funny, our very favorite, all the way from here, Gleb Tugushev!
My bitch at home, I think I need a new babe.
Menace! That's what I am. What's up? No, I'll put that back right where it started off. How you doing, people? What's up? Good, very good. I try to match your level of excitement. Okay, let's do this. I keep seeing posts on Facebook that ask me to sign petitions. Have you seen the people who are asking you to sign petitions? They're absolutely absurd. There's no such thing as a valid petition. They never get held up. One of the last petitions that I've seen is like, Russian football team lost, so we might as well get them disbanded. Sign this if you want the Russian team to get disbanded. I'm like, that's never gonna happen, is it? It's one of those pipe dreams. It's like signing a petition. It's like, let's cancel the hatred and the sadness in the world. Let's make every man whose name is Gleb get a blowjob every Wednesday, Thursday, and every other day of the week that he is able to remember before he gets drunk. Let's soul sign this. It sounds amazing. I also I was watching a lot of football. I hate football. I don't understand it. It's just a bunch of people, and they do things together. Very foreign concept to me. It's just usually me and a bunch of people laughing. So football would be great for me because I fucking suck at it. But I was watching it with my cousin, and all my cousins, they're all younger than me, they're all Russian men, and they love football. That's all they care about in the world. I keep asking them, what do young people listen to these days? So I want to be into trap music and that shit, like booty shaking, I don't know what the fuck they're into these days. But they're like, no, we just watch football every day, all day. And I was watching, I got hooked up, I hooked up the satellite TV, and I got Football 1, Football 2, Football 4, Football 6, all the channels about football. So they hang out at my place, and I was watching football for 6 hours with an 11-year-old kid. And I go, can we watch something that we both can enjoy? Because Football 1 is not cutting it. And he grabs the remote, he's like, fine, and switches it to Football 2. He's like, Manchester, are you fucking happy now, you piece of shit? So they were asking me to go out with them camping. Has anyone been camping ever? What do you mean, of course? What the fuck are you talking about? A bunch of people were like, no, city, internet, not pooping in holes, yay. Who's been? Keep your hands up so we can all see it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, exactly how much you can fit in the tent. Can you go instead of me? Because, so they keep asking me like, Gleb, can you come? And everything that you get for camping, every advice you get sounds like a threat. It's always, bring something, or you will regret not bringing it. It's never like, yo, do you know what you need in the forest? A chair and some weed. No, it's never like that. It's never, you can enjoy some furniture in the forest. No one ever says that. Everyone always says, bring a hammer so you can fight the bears. So bring a fucking like machete so no fox eats your feet. I haven't been camping, as you can understand. Fox ate your feet. That's what I think about the forest. Everything is an emergency thing. Everything, like emergency matches, emergency like shit. Like, I'm already in the forest. Everything is an emergency. This trip is an emergency. Pooping in a hole is an emergency. Don't say that matches are emergency as well. I just want some comfort. God damn it, I forgot my joke. I'm sorry. I just realized that the TV and movies, they teach us that everyone is always adaptable to wilderness. Everyone's always like, Lost, have you seen that show? Lost? Остаться в живых? Yeah, no shit, fucking Channel 1. Rock hard. It teaches us that a plane crashes, and out of the plane emerge a bunch of models. They all look great. They all look great. They can do things. They can make fire. They can find water. There's no Gleb in Lost. If there was Gleb in Lost, it would be me by the beach, lost by myself, dirty because I cannot find a source of water to drink or wash myself, going around with a coconut being like, sorry, can you open this coconut for me? It's very hard. And someone running up and being like, is there a doctor here? Are you a doctor? I'd be like, no, there's no doctors here. It's just me. Do you know where I can find some water to drink? Actually, Pepsi would be better. That's how fucking useless I am in the wilderness. God damn it. I try to get better. One of the things of getting into shape was trying to join a gym. I joined a gym. Thank you for noticing. I know you're all thinking, Gleb, that body doesn't need workout. It's perfect as it is. I'll tell you. I'm a comedian. It's fine. Perfection knows no limits. That's what I live by. So I joined a gym, and I dropped out of it straight away because it was filled with a bunch of dudes going like, hey man, it's not how you do it. You gotta do it like that. You have to lift it like this so you can work out your inner phallic deltoid. And I'm like, I don't need that muscle, and I don't need you in my life as much as I don't need that phallic deltoid. So I dropped out of the gym and I started working out at home. I started Googling and YouTubing my exercises like a modern man would do. I YouTube get muscles fast while being on the couch, because it's the fastest way. And it came up. It came up with a Beef Masterson's Extreme Fast Body Workout for Beach Man. I don't know, like some bullshit. It's just basically a black man, muscly man, that yells at you for half an hour, which is extremely motivating for me. So this guy is like, are you ready for workout? I've got my assistants here. There's Greg and there's Gina. And there's there's a guy who's pretty big and there's an Asian girl who's this tiny next to him. He's like, these are my assistants. Are you ready to work out? I'm like, yes, absolutely. He's like, first exercise, we're gonna do, me and Greg, my assistant, we're gonna do the same exercises. If you cannot keep up, do what Gina does. And Gina's just standing there, looking through the screen at me, and I'm looking at Gina, the same fucking blank stare. And he goes, and I'm like, I'm not gonna do the girls' exercises, right? I'm a man, not much of one, but a man. I've got some pride. I'm gonna do the man exercises. Let's go! And Beef Masters goes like, first exercise, 50 push-ups. And I'm like, let's see what Gina has to say about this, because girl power, you know what I mean? And he goes, Gina's gonna do 45 push-ups. I'm like, I'll do 10 tonight. The rest maybe next year. But I started doing more workout. I started running marathons. Not marathons, I started running, that's it. I ran before, now I run distances. And one of the marathons that I ran was a half marathon. Do you know how much that is? Half marathon?
24.
24 what?
21 kilometers.
Kilometers, right? Good, very good. Did anyone knew that? Now you know. It's how long does it take? Do you know how long it takes? Sorry, what's your name? Let's meet up. Natasha. Okay. How long does it take a person to run 22 kilometers? Come on.
3 hours.
Someone said 2.5. You said 3.
3.
2 hours and 15 minutes of running, huh? What? I'm lying. It's more like 1 hour of running, 1 hour and 15 minutes of walking, crying, and saying to everyone that passes me by, do you want to call an Uber and just like make it faster? Let's get a taxi. But everyone there was like trying to give me water and shit. On the sidewalk, there's a lot of people with signs, and you get a number that says your name. It was like 666 or whatever, fucking like Gleb. And everyone was yelling, go, like, Vanya, go fucking like this person. And when they saw me like doing my shuffle, not even the run, they would just go, good job. And I was covering my name because I knew they're gonna go home and be like, so I was at the marathon today, very good, but this guy Gleb can't run for shit. I knew my name was going around Moscow. So, oh shit. It's very, very hot out here, but I've got some new jokes for you, and I'm gonna finish up with them. So if you're cool to bear with me, I'm gonna have 2 more. So my girl kicked me out of my place. It's her place. Whatever. I live with my mom now. No one's applauding for that. 25. I'm 25. Yeah. Thank you. 25. I'm living with my mom, and it's fucking fantastic. It's great. Nothing better than living with mom. The cooking, the cleaning, the sex. I mean, oh God. I'm kidding. You all got. She doesn't cook. So no, it's good. But I'm looking for a place of my own. I've been currently talking to some real estate agents on the phone, and I realized that Russian real estate or Moscow real estate agents are the only profession in the world that's allowed and encouraged to be racist. Because the first question they ask you when you're looking for a place is like, "What's your nationality?" You're like, "Russian," and they're like, "Very good." And it's the first time I've been told that. Russian? Very good. And they keep asking you questions. They fill out a resume on you. They're like, "What's your age?" And I'm like, 25. They're like, "Okay, good, 25. Wife, of course?" And I'm like, no wife. And they're like, "Okay, no wife." No wife? Okay, no wife. So you bring parties to your place. You bring big parties. You're gonna party, crash the place. Are you gonna crash the place? And I'm like, no. I actually don't have many friends. And he's like, "Okay, I don't think this is gonna work out." I'm like, "Why?" And he's like, "Well, you know, I've dealt with people like you before." I'm like, "People like me?" He's like, "Yeah, 25, no wife, no friends. It doesn't usually work out." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Wait, hold up. What are you talking about?" He's like, "They get thoughts, all kinds of thoughts, mostly suicidal." And I'm like, "But I'm not like that. I'm not like." He's like, "You know, you move out or you get moved out, and I have to do the rental apartment again. More work for me. You know, no one wants you dead. I got to do more work. No." And I'm like, "Well, hold up." He's like, "Look, call me back when you get some friends." And I'm like, wait. What are you doing tonight? Because I got this stand-up thing going on. So Natasha, thanks for coming by. I hope this apartment thing works out. Thanks, buddy. All right, thank you, people. Bye.
I just need to reflect on one thing. When you start the story by saying I run marathons, and then you go I ran one, it was a half marathon. That's not how you tell things, because if I go out and say I have sex, and then I go I had sex once and it was a half sex, it doesn't have the same level of it's not legit. So just go I tried once.
Tried once.
Now we're back to my sex life.
Just once.
I tried once. She knew, kind of. At least I tried. Next comedian who also ran a marathon. Well, it was a half marathon. But I'm pretty sure he can do a proper one as well. Please welcome on the stage, all the way from California, United States, Blake Rose!
Hey everybody, my name is Blake. So I'm an English teacher here, or I think as you guys translate English teacher into Russian, it's loser без будущего. And yeah, so my name's Blake, and so I meet a lot of students all the time. And as I introduce myself to students, one of the common problems is they think my name is Black. And then I tell them that my family name is Brown. And so I get this черный коричневый thing going on, which is only really problematic because of how exceedingly white I am. And then they have to have the whole family explanation that for some reason my mom really liked the colors, and so she named my sister red green and my little brother pink purple. And because I'm from California, a fairly homosexual accepting culture, he of course grew up to be a gay male stripper. Anyway, so yeah, like I said, I'm an English teacher, recently I broke up with my girlfriend after a long relationship. So I've been thinking about that a lot lately, like what happened, what went wrong, and basically it all comes down to does anybody know the secret? to success for a long relationship? Anybody got any ideas? What's the secret?
No.
Like other than lots of lying, alcohol, and masturbation? Like anything other than those three? Does anybody have any suggestions for how to keep a long relationship alive? No, nothing. We're all pathetically single, yeah. Okay, good to know I'm in good company. But actually, I kind of had an epiphany about it, and the thing that I came up with is that for guys, the secret to getting in a long relationship with a girl is you have to set the right expectations for the relationship at the beginning. So my ex-girlfriend, the first date we ever went on was we went to a Justin Timberlake concert and a nice dinner. That was a mistake on my part. If you want to take a girl out to a performance and not have her constantly judge you against some like international sex icon for girls, you go to Gorky Park and you watch the homeless person sing in the fountains. That's a more appropriate first date. Because after that, anything you do is going to be wonderful. If you start with Justin Timberlake, it's all just downhill from there. But if you start from singing Bum in the Park, it's good. Same thing with like the gentlemanly expectations. If you are going out of the metro and you let the metro door slam in her face, she will never expect you to open another door. And anytime you do, other than being a little bit scared for her life, she'll just think it's great, it's wonderful. Another kind of expectation thing is especially be careful in your sexual life. Guys, for your first time, really don't shoot for anything more than 10 seconds. Otherwise, there's just going to be bad effects in the future. I knew it was getting close to the end when my ex asked the terrible question of, "That's it?" The worst part about that situation is that she didn't give an explanation afterwards. She just asked, "Esto?" and then got up and left. And so then I sit there questioning my masculinity for the next 20 minutes. Okay, so like Igor and Gleb mentioned, so I also recently started running. It's like that expectation that now that you're single, you have to pretend like you care about your life and try to do something to make yourself better. I really don't know why I started running, because runners are the biggest group of liars ever. Like some of the common lies that people tell you about running, they say it's fun. Any type of thing where you have to get massive groups of thousands of people to go do something like running should automatically tell you that it's not fun. They do not get people together for Alcoholics Anonymous because quitting drinking is fun. It's because it sucks, and it's the same with running. Another one of the big lies for running is that it's a great way to lose like 10, 20 kilos or something like that. If I wanted a good, quick way to lose 10 to 20 kilos, I would just cut off my legs so nobody would ever ask me to go running again. That'd be a much more enjoyable way to spend my time. I think one of the ones I hate most is that they say, you have to give it time. It gets better with time. The more you run, the more you enjoy it. The only thing I do the more that I run, is hate how much I hate running. And somebody kind of gave me this advice when I said that I hate running. They're like, "Oh, well, you gotta pick the right music." And so I've noticed that my music taste has gotten increasingly angry, so that I hate the rest of the world enough that running seems okay. Okay, shit. I don't know. I'm looking at Glove. Anyway, that's all I got for you tonight. Thanks.
Blake Rowe.
I don't know what.
Motherfuckers know what time it is.
That's Blake running music.
Blake running. That's not angry enough. I don't know what's happening with you guys. You moving out back to your mom. He broke up with his girlfriend. I don't know. I never had a girlfriend. I don't know how it works. One person. Loser. Not in those shorts. Jesus. Show some sympathy. Mom? Oh my god. Yeah, people in very short shorts can be funny, believe it or not. And you're gonna see it in a minute because this person has shorter shorts than I do. So that's a trend, apparently. Please welcome all the way from London, England, not the not the European Union anymore. Please welcome Milo Edwards.
Hello. Just for a point of clarity, my shorts are actually the same length as Eagle's. I'm just taller, which can make a little bit of a difference. Look at him go! Look at him go! Yeah. So I'm not going to do any Brexit jokes because Igor just ruined that, and also because it's just not funny. It's just very upsetting. I'm going to move on from that. Yeah. So being an Englishman who speaks Russian, who lives in Russia, a question that I get a lot is actually two questions that sort of come at you at once. It's, how come you speak such good Russian? Do you have a Russian girlfriend? And I don't know what they get. I don't know if that's like a proposition or like, especially when a man is saying it, it's even more mysterious. Like, I have women. Do you want them? They're available. And the answer is that actually I do have a Russian girlfriend, but I don't understand a fucking word that she says, like ever. And if you're wondering how that works, I would recommend it. Like, I'm exceedingly happy because she's like, you motherfucker, you didn't do all the thing, and I'm like, okay, that's good. All right, well, I'm gonna go over here now. It's a great way to live your life. I'd recommend it a great deal. And it's good when you don't understand people, because people say a lot of stupid shit, right? Like in the UK, we have this saying, an elephant never forgets, and we teach this to children as if it's like a useful thing for them to learn, as if it's like, yeah, don't mess with elephants, they'll get you. Like made that mistake a few times. Just don't leave them well alone. And you sort of wonder, right? Like, who came up with that expression? An elephant. Who found that out? Like the hard way. Was there some dude who like got married to an elephant, and then every time they had an argument, the elephant reminded him about something he did like 10 years ago? And it's like, oh, you never washed the dishes. Oh, this one time. Oh, you slept with my sister. You never let anything go, elephant. And then he made it his mission to like tell everyone about that until the end of time. Another favourite saying of mine that's sort of about animals is slow and steady wins the race. You heard that one? Slow and steady wins the race. It's a very unhelpful saying, I think, because if anything, like fast and steady wins the race, or even usually fast and erratic is usually better than slow. If there's one thing that unifies people who win races, it is usually their ability to go fast, right? And we get this saying from the story about the hare and the tortoise, where it's a race between a hare and a tortoise, and everyone's like, well, obviously the hare, known for being fast, will beat the tortoise, known for being slow. But no, because this is a story for children, in which obviously the thing that you would expect to happen doesn't happen. The hare is like winning the race, but the hare, being just like a fucking idiot, just keeps going off and doing shit that's not related to the race, like, just cooking some food, or like having a sleep, or whatever, like hiring a prostitute, I don't know. And then eventually the tortoise wins because the hare forgets it's in a fucking race. And the moral of that story is not that slow and steady wins the race, it's that, like, if you're in the middle of a race, you shouldn't fucking stop and do unrelated shit, right? And I'm sort of wondering if these kind of sayings are the reason why in the UK we have, like, such terrible, like, athletes. Like they've just come last in like the 100 meters final at the Olympics, and they're being interviewed, and it's like, there's a very strange athletic performance from there. Do you have any like idea where it may have gone wrong for you? I mean, are you injured? It's like, I just don't know. I mean, I stuck to my race plan. It threw me off a little bit at the start of the race that a lot of the other people in the race, they started running very fast. But I thought, no, you just run your own race, right? Those guys are probably going to get distracted and stop for a pizza or something. Whereas I'm focused, I'm going at my own pace, but they all just kept running really fast. I just don't know what happened. But my favorite thing I've heard about animals is something that someone wrote recently on the internet. I mean, it's one of these people, like, they're like a Facebook friend of yours, And they're kind of an idiot, but what they like to do is seem like they're more intelligent than they are. So they like to write stuff that is a bit kind of like contra-opinion, you know. And this guy wrote like, you know, I find it really weird that like everyone thinks sharks are really dangerous, because like, you know, sharks actually aren't that dangerous. Like, more people every year die from like their toaster than from shark attacks. And I just don't really think that's a very helpful comparison, because sharks live in the sea, whereas like there's a toaster in my house. And so I feel that substantially affects the probability of me like dying at the hands of a toaster. Because like, despite this fact, I'd still be a lot happier to fight a toaster than a shark. In almost any situation, I would rather fight a toaster, right? The only situation in which I'm not sure which would be more dangerous is in a bath, because like, you know, the toaster, it's kind of dangerous because it's electrical, but equally there's a fuse there which might save you. And at the same time, like, a shark is definitely dangerous in the bath, but on the other hand, it's like a very small space, and I'm not sure if the shark would be able to sort of maneuver itself freely enough, and you might have a chance to escape. I mean, I don't really have a solution to that problem. It's just kind of a sort of philosophical thing for you all to ponder. Okay, thank you very much. I've been Milo Edwards. Good night.
Milo! I don't know, did you get his allegory, the story? Because in my country it's a bit different. We have a rabbit and a turtle. So completely different animals, so doesn't work with the hare and the turtle.
Completely different and yet essentially the same.
Yeah, but completely different. So, God knows. That's all for the stand-up part of our Friday night show. Did you enjoy the show? Please stay for the concert. We have an acoustic concert starting in 5-10 minutes. Thank you for coming. Good night.
Держался на расстоянии от утежа в неадекватном состоянии, игнорируя дружеское, максимум пара пив или пара шотов. Это отличало меня от приятелей. Я рассудительнее, я свежее.